Okay, we have the management of Prime Focus joining us. They apparently have raised $70 million to repay FCCBs. We have the management joining us, Mr. Ramki Sankaranarayanan, the CEO at Prime Focus India, joining us right now on a phone line. Sir, great having you with us on Profit. Can you talk about the fundraising, the $70 million that you've raised?
Certainly. Thanks for having me. We actually raised $70 million from Standard Chartered Private Equity, which came in as $35 million in direct equity and $35 million as NCDs. And these funds have actually been used to repay our FCCBs, which were due yesterday. And I'm happy to share to all the shareholders that we very successfully paid the bondholders what is due to them as per what we had agreed to pay.
After the redemption has been completed, are there any other FCCBs which are outstanding?
No, sir. There is no outstanding FCCBs as on date.
So the money which has come in from Standard Chartered, one of them you mentioned is through the NCD issue, the other one is through the equity route. How much is Standard Chartered holding at this point of time in Prime Focus?
It's about 20%.
Okay. Let's talk about the funding. In future, are you looking at any other fundraising plans, not from the FCCB side, but purely to grow business in various new verticals? What's the sense? Would you be looking at the market again?
See, I think as a growth business, we've continued to kind of look at capital requirements. Our businesses, the two businesses that we primarily classify the company in, the creative services business, essentially led by visual effects and 2D 3D conversion. That's obviously grown quite substantially over the last few years, and we are continuing to kind of see that grow in the future as well. And we have the technologies business, which actually has propelled over the last 18 to 24 months on the back of a cloud-based platform to manage the business of content. And I think both these businesses obviously have tremendous potential, and it would need capital from time to time for us to support this growth and grow our market shares across the world.
What kind of projects are we looking at this point of time? In the past, you've been associated with marquee projects which have been landmarks, and the stock has been doing fairly well. Can you talk about some of the newer projects that you're working on as far as 2D, 3D segments are concerned as well?
Sure. I think I think we continue to lead the market from the 2D to 3D conversion space. I did share earlier that 2D to 3D conversion as a technique and a technology continues to be fairly dominant in the 3D filmmaking space, especially with projects that have a very high visual effects component, right? And I think we continue to lead this from a market share perspective. The VUD technology that we have, the global pipeline that we have, I think, and the fact that we are probably the only studio in the world that have had the track record to deliver entire movie back to back, completely executed under one studio. I think with all of that credibility and credentials, I think we continue to dominate that market. We just recently saw Frankenweenie that went out of our stable. That's completely done by us. It's a Disney film that we finished. We continue to work on the Star Wars series. We have a strategic arrangement that we've talked about of us converting the entire Star Wars series, and I think that part of that work is continuing right now. And earlier this year, I think the other substantial progress that we made is in the visual effects side, when we had Judge Dredd that came out earlier this quarter, and of course earlier this year we also had movies like Total Recall, Men in Black, and movies like that. So yeah, we continue to see us, given the fact that as an Indian multinational trying to kind of plant ourselves firmly in the Hollywood space, I think we see that us making fairly rapid strides there.
Right. All right, sir. We'll leave it at that. I would have loved to chat more with you, but I'm afraid we are out of time. As always, pleasure having you with us on Profit. All the very best. That's the management of Prime Focus talking about the FCCBs which have been completely repaid, but growth prospects ahead, and the stock is actually doing pretty well. It's up 1.5% right now. Let's move on. ITC